Hello and welcome to another installment of Let's Play Civilization 4 Realism Invictus. This is the Asharid Het, and where we left off in the last video, I was just remarking at how abysmally food poor this capital spot is. Not only are there no food bonuses, which, even though we're using a somewhat unconventional map script, that really shouldn't happen. Not only that, but we don't even have any irrigated farmland. Even though the graphics make this look like grassland, this is actually plains. So this is basically a doomed capital spot. I'm not going to restart. I'm glad that I chose Prince though, because this is on Monarch. This would be a serious problem, but we're going to need to find a second city spot sooner rather than later. I think going worker first is still the best idea, but other than chopping, we can't really do anything besides hooking up this elephant because there's no food surplus here. The silver lining is there really should be potentially multiple strategic resources here, but a capital spot with no food bonuses and moreover no farmland, really that shouldn't happen, but we're gonna go with it and see what happens and make the best of it. I did decide to go worker first here. Tech path will take tool making and woodworking. That'll allow us to, I guess the wheel third, that'll allow us to build a camp on that ivory, chop trees, and then put a cart path here to connect the resource, but we are going to need a second city pretty quickly. Barbarians in the mod are more aggressive than in the Beyond the Sword, so there's not very long of a grace period where you can build non-military units. We'll have to build probably a few after the worker, and militia is the safest bet, I think, at this time, so that'll probably be our second build. Other next steps, we're just going to have to see what's immediately around us and try to secure a second spot because we're not going to grow here. There's literally not a food surplus. We are stuck at level 1. But I will do what I can and make the best of it. Okay. Generally, you want to explore in a ring about 1 settlement distance away from your capital. Here's a hut here. I'll still probably go northeast and then swing back around and get the hut. Okay, there's a reef here. Just to be efficient with our movement path here. If someone else gets the hut first, oh well. For us, it'll probably be enemy warriors that spawn anyway. Okay. Yeah, this is not impressive land. 1 luxury, well I guess ivory is a luxury as well. So 2 luxuries, fish, and then over here, clams. But this is not grassland, it's plains, and then tundra. 72 gold from the hut. Okay.
Man is a tool-using animal. Nowhere do you find him without tools.
I'm going to go ahead and turn the volume up a little bit. I ran a test before recording, and at this volume, my voice is a little bit louder than the background music, but I can barely hear it. If the music and background noise of the game is too loud, let me know. But I can barely hear it, so I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Okay, so tool making, we can build scouts. Another thing that this mod did is instead of the culture bomb, as it was colloquially referred to in vanilla Civilization 4, where your great artists, you could settle them in cities, use them to spawn golden ages as with any other non-great general, great person. But you could also famously do the culture bomb, which would just immediately settle 4,000 culture in that city. That was done away with and replaced with a mechanic known as art eras, which I think is pretty cool. There are great works of art in each era, and so toolmaking here unlocks the ancient ones, which, as you can see, Cyrus Cylinder, Mask of Agamemnon, Nefertiti bust, the Sandrock art paintings, and Gate of the Sun. It's a selection of historical artworks from each era, which gives a hefty per turn bonus in addition to a unique effect. And much as with wonders, in fact, it is categorically a wonder, there's only one allowed. So if you wanted to play an aggressive cultural game, you could prioritize these and build them first. And they get obsoleted by a certain technology, which discontinues that selection of great works of art. And in addition, the art eras, there's an actual building titled with each art era that you separately build. So there's classical art, which I think unlocked with architecture. And I believe it's necessary to... No, it is not necessary to build these. They're separate. But the art eras, as you build those, it's just a straight multiplier on your culture. So neglect it at your own expense. I like that change that they made. The culture bomb was fun from a strategic gameplay perspective, but it is also admittedly pretty cheesy. This is a lot more intuitive, but it's also fun because you have to race for a limited selection of actual artworks from different times. And their unique effects are also kind of nice flavor additions as well. Okay, potatoes, cow. Hey, at least if people live over here, they can eat. That's a first. Okay. All right. Oh, good, it's a freshwater lake. All right, of course it would have to be because it's fed by a river, so. Yeah, this is a nice looking spot here in this area. Yeah, and this here is actually a savanna, not a forest. It provides only a 10% defensive bonus rather than the 25 that a conventional forest would give. And it's a smaller hammer yield if you chop it, but unlike a forest, you can't set up a lumber mill here or anything. I think it's supposed to represent kind of pre-agricultural scrub, things that don't really exist in extensive spans of modern settled country, which is of course mostly farmland or urbanized. I'm trying this blueberry Red Bull, which is extremely good. Okay, please don't be warriors. Okay, good, more gold. I will take that. Alright, so hopefully we hit the jackpot with strategic resources here, because unless Perfect Mongoose is glitching out, the fact that we have no food here should mean that we we should have iron, uranium, bauxite, I think, which is the effective equivalent of aluminum. So keep a tab on that with me if you would. We'll have to wait and see. No horses, though. Unlike in Beyond the Sword, they are visible from the beginning of the game, and apparently we don't have any. I'll go southwest and then swing back. Okay. Desert down there. Looks like we might have a little backyard to our east. Much good may it do us. Okay. I will just continue mentioning things as I think they seem appropriate. In addition to a huge range of not only stylized culture-specific flavors for units, many units now have specific advantages towards other specific kinds that did exist previously, but it has been extensively revamped. So for instance, Lion it's already a 2 strength unit, which matches the warrior, but it has a 50% strength bonus in plains, as you can see here on the bottom left, 25 in savannah, which, as I just said, is only a 10% defensive bonus, so you're actually at a disadvantage if you're defending against a lion there, and 25% against melee units, so by default it has an advantage over our warrior, but if we were in the plains here, it would almost certainly kill us. We have a 68% chance of winning if we attack it, but in fact, how is that possible? Because it already has the bonus against us. 2 versus 181. We must have some kind of bonus against lions or animals. Let's see. I'm going to refer to the Civilopedia here quite a bit. It's essential to keep track of what you're doing carefully. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot Desert. Desert actually has a defender disadvantage, I believe. So I could have sworn that that's the case. Something's not right here. We don't have any specific bonuses against animals. No promotions, as you can see. Movement cost 2. I could have sworn, though, that Desert actually has a combat disadvantage, but it doesn't detail that here. Yeah, okay, total defense modifier, minus 10%. I'm right. Holding shift for more info. It's just not in the Civilopedia, so... Walter Hawkingwood, if you were watching this, I'll probably mention it separately, but that might be something to go ahead and include in the any polishing patches you do. Now, I think this is a defensive bonus, not a defensive malice. So if we fortify, we'll take a 5% defense bonus, but we'll suffer the desert penalty, and the lion is going to be at a great disadvantage in all of these other terrains. So it's in our best interest to go ahead and attack. We may lose. We're going to lose a lot of units to barbarians over the course of the game, so I'm not going to be too upset, but this is the best move in any case. Okay, that one's going to kill us probably. Nope, alright, we won. Hooray. Now we have 0.1 hit points here, or strength. We'll probably die before we can even heal, but... now, there is a promotion, and each unit's promotion tree is, or rather, not every unit's promotion tree is the same, but basically as you fight, you gain experience, and then at certain thresholds you can upgrade the unit with specific bonuses. I'm sure that's not news to most anyone watching this, but just in case it is. And you can see here the eligible promotions. They are in a tree, so like if I did Combat 1, I'd get a 10% strength bonus, but it's on a separate branch as if I did Land Tactics here, which is what I'm going to go with, because the next eligible one would be Pacification, which gives me a pretty nice bonus against barbarians. For the sake of this unit's longevity, we're going to go down that path. When you promote, it does heal a little bit extra, so we'll go from 0.1 strength here to a full 1, and then heal for 5 turns. We have the defensive malice here in the desert, but moving to the plains, if another lion shows up, we'd be dead anyway, so best to heal there. Okay, alright, and this unlocks a militia unit, which we'll build after the warrior. Excuse me, the worker. I might even go for a settler right after that militia. And right here is a thought for a city. We'll have fresh water from here. This city will never, until at least the High Middle Ages, grow to anything because it just doesn't have any food. This will hook up the wine, the fish, and it's close enough to be defensible. I'm eyeing this area too, but that might be a bit too far away. If there's nothing immediately lucrative to our immediate west, then probably could just go ahead and plop down here, because at least with a fish, we'll be able to grow. However, I will also need some source of culture to expand the borders to make that workable. Alright, there's a cheetah. Alright, we've narrowly survived that, but it gave us enough experience to go ahead and promote to the aforesaid pacification. So now, land tactics gave us just a flat 10% bonus versus land units. This will give us an additional 25 against barbarians. Ooh, I wasn't even aware of the can gain 25 additional experience from barbs, because you do have an EXP cap on barbarians. Otherwise, you could just farm them for experience kind of cheesily. So I think that basically allows you to get a third promotion from them. You might have been able to get 3 already. In Beyond the Sword, it was 2, but I don't know how they reworked this tree. It seems like we gained 2 rather quickly. Alright, let's see if there's not a third attacker as we try to heal here. But now this unit is decently experienced, so hopefully it'll survive a little while longer. Okay, now thoughts for tech after the wheel here. Really going to be, the primary focus is going to be improving the bonus of whatever my second city is. It's probably going to be this spot. Oh good, alright, yeah, I forgot. You can improve wineries with pottery now instead of monarchy. That's a lot more sensible. So we might do pottery next. Yeah, let's see, winery. Yeah, a lot of improvements now too. Not only improvements, but specialists as well have tiered stacking bonuses. So, for instance, your scientist will produce more science per turn as you reach certain improvements throughout the game. Craftsmen are actually a better example of that. As your industrial technology continues to improve, each craftsman appreciates in utility. So that's also true with other things. With the winery, this appears to be not as pronounced as in other examples, but as you can see here, another food will come from the winery once we research biology, which is of course a modern tech, but still, just to illustrate the point. And then in another additional food from an agronomy station, which is a modern era GMO building essentially. But yeah, so I was just checking to see the strategic favorability of this. In the early game, looks like unless we want to build the Theater of Dionysus for a measly 1 extra commerce, the flat bonus yield of 2 food and 1 commerce is about what we'd get. But that does mean that the wine would put us in a small food surplus, which is nice, because in Beyond the Sword it was basically just for commerce. Yeah, it would actually produce more food than anything else, ironically. Yeah, so we'll probably do pottery, but let's see once this unit heals if we can find any more desirable land to our immediate west here. Okay, it's almost healed. Alright. Interesting map so far. This looks like a pretty big desert. But as I said in the first or second video, this perfect mongoose script, to the best of my knowledge, is supposed to emulate kind of gnarly, crazy, extensive features like that, which other scripts don't tend to do. Alright. We just met 2 leaders on the same turn here. So Askia Muhammad I, and this is the Sahel Empire, I guess. The creators of the mod just generically created a West African civilization, so we'll look at his AI profile here in a minute. It looks like he, not that it matters that much this early, but he is not the score lead. Ooh, we met the Maya as well. Okay. Alright, Pakel II. I don't think I've run into him in a game before. We'll have to see how this goes. Okay. Now here's an illustration of that politician trait I mentioned. Both of them, while they have different first impressions, both of them get a +2 automatically just because I am a quote-unquote politician. Which means right off the bat, he's pleased with me. And that offers some advantages. Once diplomatic options open up like gold trading or open borders, him being pleased is a categorical distinction over cautious, which will open up more options. And open borders, if a civilization has a technology that you do not, it does give you a research bonus if you have open borders with them, as well as enabling trade routes if you have an existing connection. So I think politician is probably a rather strong trait, but we'll see how it pans out. Okay, we just had a border pop in our very food poor BFC here, which revealed horses to our west. We might actually want to go ahead and settle there next, because cavalry is rather powerful in the really until the late game, I think. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the AI leader behavior here. Alright, so Askia here, he's creative. Gives a default culture bonus. That's one of my favorite traits. They nerfed it a little bit. Well, not really a strict nerf. In Beyond the Sword, it was flat 2 culture per turn by default, in addition to library and theater production bonus. This keeps the production bonus plus a couple of mod-specific buildings. They reduced the culture to 1 rather than 2, but this flat 20% bonus is arguably better, actually. I don't know. But the fact that you just get default culture right away is very advantageous to early expansion, because the way that culture gets added to plots is almost exponential. If it's not the actual frontier plot, if it's in any way interior to your border, it gets 20 per turn times the number of tiles inland it is, plus whatever that city's cultural output is. So if you get an early border pop, you can install huge amounts of your culture, which if you settle next to someone else, you can really put a lot of border pressure on them for comparatively little investment. I really like that trait. So it's very important to know if a neighboring civ is creative or not, because you may not be able to contend with them for land you're both trying to settle. Expansionist, +1 food on the city plot. That would be really helpful for us right now, but unfortunately that's not our situation. You can read the rest of that. Well, let's see, expansionist. Oh, cool. I didn't even know that settlers. Oh, that's cool. Nice artwork there too. So their settlers move faster, and they have a production bonus of them. He'll suffer -1 relations. Obviously, since I'm the human player, it doesn't work for me, but for other AIs, they'll feel that way. So, as a leader, the AI personality tries to build wonders, willing to trade away large sums of gold. Large lump sums, excuse me. Neutral initial attitude, very interested in getting a peace deal. I'm going to keep tabs on how meaningful this is, because I have seen, while the AI is opportunistic and greatly improved, some of this doesn't seem like it always pans out, but I'm still going to take a look at it and bear it in mind. Dislikes weaker civilizations, indifferent to stronger civilizations, tolerant to border pressure, hates leaders following a different state religion, dislikes open borders, reluctant to trade away resources of both types and maps. Is likely to declare wars. Well, gee, all of them are. You will definitely see that. Whether this Let's Play gets cut short or not, there's going to be a lot of getting randomly attacked. Willing to wage distant wars only against very weak targets. Unlikely to instantly declare war over refused tribute. Will not start prepping for war over refused tribute. Likes raising cities. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen that one before. Tends to be overconfident when attacking, can sometimes poorly estimate combat victory chances, normally never declares war on friendly relations, strongly favors culture-oriented civics, techs, and buildings, and favors growth-oriented. Okay. I'm just going to glance this. You can pause and read it if you'd like, but this is a nice reference to have. So industrious, they appear both to be... Oh, he's expansionist, not agrarian. Okay. So he has a wonder penalty, generally a food bonus, and a production bonus. Tolerant to border pressure, interesting. Likes open borders, and he's very unlikely to declare wars. We will see about that. This Caradoc mod AI is so bloodthirsty, it's not even funny. Okay. Okay, so he's actually a pretty pacific leader, which is ironic that he has this Auschwitz civic as his favorite. I see why they did that historically, but still, that's kind of funny. Okay. All right. Now, if we settle here without knowing anything that's under this fog, we could do animal husbandry to get the horses and the cattle. I'm probably going to switch to that because it doesn't look like anyone's to my immediate east. Horses are a very valuable resource. It's probably higher priority to get those hooked up. But we are going to need a source of culture in any case, so probably storytelling next. That or animal husbandry. We'll see if there's anything here as we move northwest. For now, I'll just select storytelling. No. Enables animism. Okay, yeah, here's your early game source of culture just to get a border pop. This isn't going to really compete with anyone. on a shared border, but it's a cheap source of getting a border pop. So yeah, priority one, let's get these horses hooked up and we can settle here later. Wine's not that important right now. We don't have enough food to grow to our happy cap anyway. Yeah, okay, so we'll do storytelling, animal husbandry. Okay, Pope Alexander the Sixth. I see. All right, and so this is Rome. All right, +2 bonus. Let's just quickly take a look. I'm not going to be meticulous going through everything. If you want to, I mean, I'll peruse things for my purposes, but if you want to pause, obviously, and look at more info, that's obviously your option to do so if you would like. But just to glance at this, he's also creative, he's also a politician, and he has the same malice trait as us too, so we're financial, he's creative, same favorite religion. Okay, he's a wonder whore, stingy. Okay, likely to declare wars, interesting. Okay. Lots of people to our west. We might be on the eastern edge of a continent here. But yeah, getting these horses is going to be a matter of high priority. So we literally can't grow. Oh, no, we can, right, because the city plot has 4. Still, though, it would be rather slow. Okay, there's a barb wolf. Okay, all right, this is a pretty food poor spot as well. With these mountains, it's kind of defensible, though, fortunately. So we'll settle either in this plains or this one here. Probably closer to the horses, honestly. That way we can get them hooked up right away. Okay, now we've got our worker here. Let's immediately build a militia because animals, which are still technically barbarians, they can't enter your cultural borders, but as soon as you cross into the 2000s BC, melee human barbarians will spawn, and they certainly can and will enter your borders and pillage your improvements, attack your cities, and as I said, they are more aggressive in this mod. They may even appear earlier if someone spawns them from a tribal village. I don't think cities can form earlier than that, but I have seen human barbarians earlier than the 2000s BC, but basically you have a small grace period where your cultural borders are a safety zone. So getting that worker built within that window of time is pretty crucial. In having an early game horse unit, that should help. I think in this mod, sine qua non highest priority is having comparable strength with the AI. They will attack you if you don't have that. And even if you can hold them off, you're only slightly weaker. It's just wasted productivity, spending hammers on units that die and have to be replaced, etc. Arms keep peace. So we're going to build a militia next. First order of business, let's get this ivory hooked up. Ooh, salt, okay. We can't have the salt and the cattle, and we need the food, so unfortunately that's going to be out of reach. I love the ambience of this, the wolves howling and the music. You can hear the workers' hammers hitting the wood here. It's just such a great game. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be our second city here. Pretty much exclusively exists to hook up these horses. However, hills in the medieval era with windmills aren't too terrible. Yeah, 2 food, 1 commerce. Hills have some passive hammers already, so I mean, a windmill on a plains hill, 2 food, 2 hammers, 1 commerce, that's really not a bad tile. It's not self-sufficient in terms of food, but it's not absolute garbage either. And once you get mechanical engineering, which is a Renaissance tech, they are self-sufficient in terms of food. Really interesting to consider all of these stacking bonuses and how the yield of different improvements and specialists arcs or appreciates over time. Okay, so we can see the Mayan borders here. We've basically explored, with the exception of right up here, a settlement distance ring around our capital. I'm not going to spawn bus with this warrior, I'm just going to keep moving around with him. Okay. Yeah, as far as the horses themselves go, we can build a chariot right away. We just need the wheel and horses themselves. And this is actually a pretty decent unit. It has a nice bonus against melee, doesn't receive defensive bonuses, and it's no good attacking cities, but for just general policing of barbarians and fending off attack, it's actually rather good. 2 movement and 4 strength makes it the peer in combat terms of militia, but oh, it's better than militia, excuse me. The short swordsman, that's what I was looking for. It will lose out against the spearman, of course, because of the cavalry bonus, but against a short swordsman, it will handily win. Against an archer, it's likely to win in the field, not in a city. So, and then with horseback riding, that's a bit. Man, I can't talk. That is a bit of a ways away, so I'm not going to beeline towards that. But decent mid-game unit. Well, this isn't a mid-game unit. I suppose it is. That's light cavalry, but horses will greatly assist our level of defense. And as will be made manifest shortly, that's going to be highly important. Okay.
Storytelling reveals meaning without committing the error of defining it.
Okay. Animism, health bonus, you can't have a state religion. I actually want to build pagan temples this time. Well, yeah, I probably will anyway. The pagan temples are cool if you can build some of these early game wonders. If you can build Stonehenge, you get a happiness from them, which is nice. Whoops. But they already are a source of culture. And the Maya here... Okay, the Maya are not creative, but the Sahelian are. The Maya are here, so since they're not creative, we won't have as much of a cultural border pressure, but if that was Askia, then I'd probably need to be looking at more culture priority. Okay, Cheetah. And, okay, yeah, it just has a Plains and Desert strength bonus. And it's a 1 strength unit, so we'll probably not die. Alright, that was concerningly close. heal. In fact, what were their odds of winning? You can check that in this combat log, which is nice. Yeah, 23% chance. Yeah, this city is so doomed. 83 turns to get to level 2. Wow, that's bad. Korlugin Choi Balsan of the Mongolian tribes. Alright, now if he gets horses, that'll be something to keep an eye on. Okay, random event, we get a malice towards animal husbandry. Okay, so that's one turn. Oh, that scared me, I thought that was a settler. Okay. Yeah, we need to build a settler right now. Well, maybe it's time to do some math, because we'll grow to level 2 in 39 turns, and it will take 38 to build the settler in the first place. However, if we get to level 2... Yeah... I really don't think that spot's going to be taken. Let's grow to level 2 before building the next settler. We have a free support limit for 14 units, so there's not really an economic penalty for building more militia and spawn busting, which is exactly what I'm going to do. You really, really don't want to be caught with your pants down and no military, or an insufficient one. Okay, that'll allow us to improve our horses. And as you can see, these agricultural techs generally reduce epidemic chance in general as well. They split the granary bonus, which previously was just retaining 50% of your food progress every time your population increased. Now the granary is 30, and there's a separate smokehouse, which is, understandably animals rather than cereals, which is the remaining 20% here. It's kind of a nice change. Okay, pastoral nomadism is an early economy civic you can do, which basically makes your farms terrible, but your pastures very good. And if you have a start where you have a bunch of sheep or whatever and not very arable land, it's pretty lucrative. Obviously, for our purposes, it's not something we want to do, but that's another interesting thing to consider for a moment. Okay, now we'll do pottery. Well, you know what? Let me think about that. How soon do we want to build this third city? Yeah, it's still a way to go. Pottery and then fishing. I'll probably build 2 settlers in a row, actually, once these militia are done. Okay. Now, we're going to cart path to those horses so we can get them hooked up right away. Once the city gets built. Polar bear. 3 strength. So actually, it matches our militia. See if we can bait him into attacking. on a hill, we're likely to win. Okay, I was going for that hut, but the Mandan warrior here beat us to it. I am still going to just miscellaneously explore with this warrior, though. Okay, the bear does not want to give battle, so we will fortify here. No barbarian can spawn within 2 tiles of a unit, regardless of what that unit can see. So, by putting this militia here, this whole area is not going to spawn units. And then we'll put one to the west next, and then to the south, and then hopefully barbarians won't be too much of a concern. Okay.
Hat nicht ein Töpfer Macht über den Ton, aus demselben Klumpen ein Gefäß zu ehrenvollem und ein anderes zu nicht ehrenvollem Gebrauch zu machen?
Yeah, the cart path, they made the route system more complex. In the base game, it was just roads and then railroads. Well, now the default path that you unlock with the wheel rather than roads is just a cart path. And that doesn't even provide a movement bonus, it just facilitates trade routes and connects resources. So you need 2 instances of limestone and then a masonry kiln to produce masonry materials, which are necessary for paved roads. And then in the Middle Ages, you can combine that with coal, alternatively, if you don't have 2 stone, to create paved roads as well. And then there's, well, actually, excuse me, there's an intermediary actual road with a road building tech. And then paved roads give you an even better bonus. And then railroads. But with just the wheel, it is simply just the resource connection, so worth a brief comment there. Oh wow, lots of animals. Okay. Yeah, and remember they do have a pretty good plains bonus, so they're going to be a 3 strength, which means they're the equivalent of militia on their own turf there. Wow, this is a weird looking map. Look at that, plains and desert and tundra and mountains and savanna and jungle right next to each other. Okay, they killed that lion, as you can see. Okay, alright. That should be a 50-50 odds. So 1 movement unit. I'll go ahead and move. I'll start on the cart path. If we lose the battle, I'll have to move back in, but okay, let's see if we win this. Again, it should be a 50% chance. Okay. Just to check.
Gib einem Menschen einen Fisch und du ernährst ihn.
Yeah, it makes you make all these decisions when you're trying to check something, but okay. Oh, 33% chance that they would have won. Maybe the militia has a bonus against animals. I think it might. No? I mean, 50% of 2 is 1. Where 3 strength, it was 3 strength. Unless the lion is considered charge mounted. I don't think it is, though. Charge mounted. Let's see if we can alphabetize it. Yep. No, I don't know how that happened, actually. It should have been 50% chance, but whatever. Whoops, I didn't even mean to select agriculture because I was focused on the combat odds. Might as well finish it, though. I think it's prerequisite for, no, it's actually not prerequisite for anything. Except weaving. Which does reveal important resources. I might as well go ahead and see if there's any textile wealth in the vicinity before plopping down on the second city. Alright, we're not the worst. Okay, so again, nothing can spawn within 2 tiles of this, and these hills entail a movement cost, so nothing should be able to fly out of nowhere if we fortify here. Okay, Jadwiga of Russia. Currently West Slav. No, West Slavic. They're probably Poles. Okay. Oh, she'll take open borders. No existing worst enemies. Fine with me. Open borders are enabled with writing, I believe. Yep. Okay. That is unchanged from the base game. Matter of fact, that means she has writing. Askia, you will take open borders. Okay, and the Maya will too. I'm going to scout his land. I already have a unit right here. No one has agriculture, I guess. You know what? You might actually need a trade route as well as open borders to get the research bonus. If so, that's definitely something I read, but studying this has been a pretty big info dump. I may have forgotten. Okay, now let's hook up get the horse tile itself cart pathed. And that's his capital spot. He settled on a resource. That's kind of weird. Lots of AI units roving around too, because barbs will not spawn next to any unit that's controlled by a civ, so we might have some grace against them in this game. If you have like a big Siberia-esque uninhabited hinterland, that can be really, really annoying. Okay, he has horses as well. Although I don't really know what kind of unit catalog the Maya have for their mounted units. Maya Pan Horsemen. I mean, obviously this is anachronistic, but for the sake of game balance, they had to include it. Okay, yeah, it's just the generic, regular, light horseman. Okay. However, according to the Civilopedia, he's not likely to attack in general, and he's pleased with us. Thanks to our politician trait, everyone is, so hopefully that's not something we'll have to worry about as long as we can keep the power ratio represented by this number here above 80%. Should be fine.
Nassen Sommer kann auch der Herbst nicht trocknen.
Okay. Yeah, as you could see, the wheel, pottery, agriculture, all of those reduced. Actually, The wheel did not, but pottery and agriculture reduced, and animal husbandry, that was the other one, reduced the default epidemic rate, which is positive if you have no health infrastructure right at the very beginning. And if they strike, it reduces your population on a per turn basis until it's over, in addition to a productivity malus. I tend to neglect weaving, but thinking about it, resources are pretty important. Commerce is vital, and the towns, the final rendition of the cottage improvement has been kind of nerfed, so I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention to these as good sources of early game commerce. Really through the whole game, honestly, but available early on at the very least. Okay, yeah, spices as well. He's going to end up with that salt too. I'm not going to fight him for that, because I'd have to trade the food for it, and I'm not going to do that, so. Good, we're still growing here. Okay. Alright, he's still in his first city. He's still level 1 himself, because for whatever reason, he started on a cow, and that was supposed to be the food for that city spot, but whatever. If you settle on it, you can't get the improvement bonus. You do get the resource, which you can trade, but you don't get the yield from the improvement. Okay. Oh, this event. Cool. Actually, this is an ideal time for this to happen. So, our herbalists have discovered a new plant that holds great promises for health treatments. However, tests on human subjects are required to find the right mixture. Oh, I hope this doesn't cause the game to crash. Can I autosave without... No, that's not an option. Yeah, so basically what this does is you can sacrifice your population for a good chance of improving your health for the rest of the game at the expense of happiness. Since we're only at population level 1, we are not bumping the fence of our happy cap. But I wonder, since we're at level 1, if we reduce population, does that annihilate the city? But 2 health for the rest of the game is kind of nice. It would destroy the city, I think. I really don't even want to risk that while I'm recording a Let's Play. Yeah, I don't want to risk that. If someone knows the answer, let me know. But if my city was wiped out, I would lose. And I just somehow think that there's not a safeguard against that, so I'm going to play it safe. It makes you wonder, though. I mean, 1 minus 1 is 0, which would destroy the city. Okay. I mean, theoretically that can happen. The city plot in the base game has 2 food by default, which is the consumption rate per citizen, but that doesn't mean that the program can't allow it to just be reduced and the city destroyed. Okay. Alright, with this next militia, we'll send him south. I don't want to put the worker in a vulnerable spot where it can't be guarded. But see, by moving it 1 south here, then I can work on the road the next turn anyway once this militia moves to the hill and reveals that the spot is safe. Okay. The city functions as a road for route purposes, so it would be wasteful to build a cart path here if we're going to settle there anyway. But that puts us 1 step closer to hooking up the cattle as well. So. $16, $11. Yeah, who knows? Weaving might reveal something over here which might change where we're going to settle anyway, though. Yeah, this isn't great defensive land or anything. Right about here is the best place to go. Yeah, another thing, and this was, I think, one of the most recent changes, is the research cost. There are modifiers based upon the year that increasingly penalize excessive beelining. So right now, in 3115 BC, classical era tech is twice as expensive. Medieval era tech, which would be impossible to get to at this point, but 200% more, etc. But once we get to 2000 BC, classical tech will only be 50% more expensive. So this kind of is a nice speed bump on a Civ totally running away in tech, which is somewhat implausible. And then if that Civ has open borders with others, then it kind of brings them along with it, so to speak. It's a nice change, I think. It keeps the era kind of approximately close to the calendar date in a way that feels a little bit more plausible than otherwise. Okay, I think we're probably not going to reveal anything in this immediate vicinity with weaving, but best to know in advance. And then once we have that, let's do early metalworking, just so that we can reveal any. And we better have at least one of these in our capitals. Big fat cross with no food. I mean, come on, for real. Okay, yep, nothing revealed over there.
God will give you the thread.
Actually, nothing revealed at all. That was kind of sad. They might need grassland, not plains, as their base terrain. Yep, see, we have a 80% bonus from all those open borders we have signed because of the number of civs that have this tech while we do not. Okay, this is not the most efficient arrangement. Let's go one east. It's nice music. Ooh, wow, lots of wine over here. 3 in one spot. Yeah, you know, I may not do Perfect Mongoose again. This is a little weird, but oh well. It's fun enough for the time being. Okay. Cheetah. Okay. It's a plains hill, so I think it gets its plains bonus even though it is a hill. I am going to avoid combat with that lion. Oh wait, is it a 2 movement unit? It could just go northwest and then attack me. Lion. Nope, it's 1 movement. Okay. Okay, good. Gold and copper. That